Hi everyone. Welcome back to the Pot Smokers Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Pot Smokers Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament. Now, today, we are reading the second part of chapter 23 of the Pot Smokers Bible, which is chapter 20 of the Book of Zion. So I'm going to take up where I left off. I stayed true to my God. I told the stupid voices that told me to do bad things to shut up and leave me alone. Being a force of light and good is a choice. I made that choice, and the dark beings eventually shut up. When Hera and Zeus broke their bond, it made an opening in our matrix that let dark beings into our galaxy. We pay the price for that rift. We have a darkened matrix. Evil has a foothold. But the reunion of our holy couple has sealed that rift. The advent of the unicorn will help us to overcome the darkened powers that have encased our matrix and made things of light hard to create. The unicorn is mentioned in the Torah twice. When the unicorn spirit emerges, the darkness will flee. This is what the Dead Sea Scrolls tell us, the Essenes of which Jesus was a high-ranking member. They speak of the battle between darkness and light. This part of the text the Grey know nothing about. They do not recognize Jesus. He was not one of theirs, except, of course, that he was a Jew. The Essenes worked for the higher powers. Please try to understand that life is a never-ending cycle of birth and death and rebirth. Once a soul is created, it and its mate are bound in the cycle of life. They will either become plant, animal, or sentient beings able to ascend into higher planes of existence. The Grey are the little g god of our physical form. The physical plane is the actualized plane. It is the lowest form of life, the highest to life always begins on the physical plane. The Grey are the masters of our physical plane, but they are what remains of their planet when their brothers and sisters ascended into their next higher level of existence. Some Grey became gods, like Zeus and Hera. They are even now gods creating their own worlds. Maybe someday we will find their creations. You see, creation is the result of a higher form of sex. A god and goddess decide to create children. They first decide what kind of world they want. Then they find a nebula with the right mix of elements. Then they go to its center, and they begin the dance of life. They tell each other the story of their first ascended beings to come into form in this new creation. The goddess imagines herself as the new female, and the god tells the story of the new male. As they create the story of the first divine couple to be ascended, the particles of dust begin to be drawn into their center. One of them becomes the sun to give life to the system. The other becomes the planet that will create the ascended couple. This is what binds matter, spiritual energy. In most cases, the divine god and goddess are not alone. They have friends with them who have risen with them into this next higher realm. These friends become the other planets, creating their own ascended stories. All life in the solar system stems from these higher beings. It is this dance of life that binds matter that creates the gravity. And that is the secret of gravity. So every soul on this planet is a child of one of these higher couples. All DNA comes from these couples. They infuse their energy into the matter that they collect. That is why we all have traits in common. That's why you can meet someone who isn't related but who looks as if they should be. Because both people are born from the same divine couple. It's on this higher plane that the being of light and dark exist. As these divine couples grow through experience the lives that they create, they begin to diffuse their mix of energy. Positive energy we call light, negative energy we call dark. Gods and goddesses of this first level of ascension are the mix of dark and light, but the processes of life on this higher plane begins to separate the energies so that they begin to choose between the two forms. Some choose the light, as our Zion and Messiah did. When Zion chose the unicorn path on heaven, this choice created the desire to become a god and Messiah. So their choice was made long before they created earth. But it is a choice all gods and goddesses have to make. What we call the lesser gods and goddesses, those ascended with a divine couple but not being the first divine couple, they take the secondary role as the lesser planets. These couples and most other divine couples become higher beings of mixed origin. These beings begin to make choices that either elevate them into light or lead them into a more and more darkened state. All beings on this next plane must choose to become either light or dark or gray. This evolution is one of a cosmic time scale. The lower plane, um, each solar system contains a pantheon of ascended beings, and each of these couples will eventually go off on their own to become the divine couple. They will take with them their divine offerings, creating a family pantheon. This cycle of life is on a vast time scale. With each creation, the couples become more and more of the elements that they will eventually choose to become. When they have used up all of the opposing energy, the two elements they reject, then they will advance to the next higher levels of ascension. The energy plane. Um, on this level of life, there is no matter. Um, all possessions that create matter are rejected into the lower plane. This energy is the lightness and darkness that we see. They are not on this plane, nor are they on the divine plane, but all of their energy is dispersed into the divine plane and into our own. Their energy, either dark or light, is available to everyone on both of the lower planes. That is the source of all energy. These three levels of life are the Holy Trinity, the created, the creator, and the source of creation. For um, or for you Christians, Son, Father, and Holy Ghost. This is the Tesla 3, matter, matrix, energy. The matrix is the framework or the components, the place where the energy and the matter come together. In Wicca, it's the god, the goddess, and the highest god, or the merged couple, which is unity. Unity is the perfect merging of the souls. The created souls are equally created by God and Goddess. As they dance, they turn in circles, drawing matter to them. Each element of the story of the divine couple creates souls. The energy of the pantheon is also drawn into this, creating diversity. Each soul contains elements of all beings active during creation. By this pantheon. Each ascended couple also creates their first ascended couple. These stories are planned out or created prior to the dance so that all of the stories intertwine. That way, When they begin to dance, all matter and all storylines are in accord. But the life created is diverse within the matrix of the divine plan. The stories that these God couples creates the matrix of the solar system. The very orbits of the planets follow this matrix. Astrology is the study and application of this matrix. The parameters of astrology were given to us to use as a tool to know how things will play out according to the alignments. We who use drugs can see the matrix on our higher plane because pot is also infused with divine light. Its first emanation came from the source plane, where all lower forms emerge. The beings on this higher plane are also evolving into an even higher state. When you reach this plane of energy, you do so as a merged couple. Zeus and Hera are on their final emanation on this plane. They are merging into perfect union. That union will combine their energies perfectly, and they will become one. When that happens, our Milky Way will need a new name as the dark energy is cast out by their divine light. They are beings of light, so our galaxy will become as bright as the brightest galaxies we can see. Those bright galaxies also have divine couples who are merging into an energy being form. When a couple merges into a higher form, they begin life anew. Somewhere, on some higher plane, is a new perfect being created elsewhere as a half soul. They live out their energy lives, learning the stages of that plane as they evolve they are drawn closer and closer to each other. When they are ready to evolve, they find each other. They merge and fall away to evolve again and again. This is the great cycle of life. I do not know what the next higher plane is. I cannot see that far. It is enough to know as much as I can know in the here and the now. I am Zion, the emanation of the unicorn goddess, created of Zeus for his beloved Hera. They have given me this knowledge. Life is a cycle. The cycle is a matrix that is created by higher and higher beings. We, who are the lowest level, that of gross matter, gross being all matter, are on a journey to become spirit. Spirit is the merged form of two souls. Those souls merge to become one. This is the simple, elegant theory of everything, the cycle of life. Everyone who chooses drugs has done so because they have in previous lives merged with their soulmates, the required amount of times having evolved together into beings who are ready to merge into the Godhead. So we are to become a new pantheon of gods and goddesses. We do drugs in order to form a proper brain configuration in order to truly merge. That is the doings of the Matrix, our law. We have won the right to be evolved. During the next age of humanity, we who become will be learning how to function with our newfound powers, our godliness, our holiness, our righteousness. We are not yet gods or goddesses, but we are beings that are becoming. We who can create will always be guided by our higher emanations. Um, and we will be guided by the light beings who created the unicorns. So our next age of Zion will be energized by pure, just light. And there I will end for today, and we will take up next time where I left off. So until then, may the Gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, keep you from all harm, teach you right from wrong. May you always be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth and good and light, the unicorn way. May you always be happy and high. Know that I love you. I'll say later now, 'cause I'll never say goodbye.